Welcome to Hoardganize with professional organizer Rachel Seavey. Every Sunday at 6 p.m., Rachel shares her expertise and compassionate approach to help you deal with overwhelming clutter. Rachel?
Hey, collectors! Welcome to the Hoardganize Podcast. I'm your host, professional organizer Rachel Seavey, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 9. Today's podcast continues our discussion on the 6 human needs. The first human need we covered was the need for certainty, that everyone needs to feel comfortable and safe. The second need we talked about was uncertainty and variety, that everyone craves variety in their lives. Today, we're talking about the third human need, which is the need for significance. I'm honored to have my colleague, Coach Jimmy Kay, discuss this very important topic with me. Jimmy Kay is a life transformation coach who's passionate about helping people find the power to transform their lives and achieve life mastery. He believes everyone is a superhero and will do whatever it takes to help them unleash their superpower for the good of the world. Jimmy has helped people find their purpose, get more out of life, navigate through life transitions, improve their relationships, advance in their career, and achieve their life goals, just to name a few. In his free time, Jimmy enjoys good music and spends quality time with his wife and in nature. Jimmy will be giving his definition of significance as well as how it played out in his personal life. But first, let's talk just a little bit more about the third human need, which is the need for significance. The dictionary.com definition of significance is the quality of being significant or having a meaning. The quality of being significant or having a meaning. What gives you significance, collectors? What gives you meaning? If you had less belongings, would you be less significant? If you had more belongings, would that make you more significant? Which items that you own make you feel significant? Books make people feel smart. Clothing can make people feel attractive. Craft materials make people feel artistic. There's lots of ways to gain significance. You can gain significance by having a large online following or being a public figure. Take some time to think about the people who are significant to you in your life. What about them makes them feel significant to you? Is it because they're a parent, a teacher, a mentor? Is it the message that they're spreading? Is it how smart they are? Is it how they're dressed? Is it what kind of car they drive? How much money they make? What makes someone significant? Is it amount of money? Is it an amount of knowledge, an amount of degrees a person has? I do know that no one wants to be insignificant. Now, the dictionary.com definition of insignificant is unimportant, trifling, or petty, too small to be important, of no consequence, influence, or distinction, without weight of character, without meaning, and meaningless. So no one wants to be insignificant, that's for sure. But why? I mean, why don't we want to be insignificant? It's because it's painful. No one likes to feel pain. We all want to feel like we're special and that we matter. So how does significance play into your clutter? Now, this is a time where if you haven't already, I'd like to ask you to grab something to write with, just to take some notes. You're not sharing this with anyone, but it's really good to journal and declutter your thoughts and your emotions. So I want you to ask yourself some questions. What makes you feel significant? Write it down. Are you attaching significance to that item that belongs to you? And does not having that item make you less significant? Do particular items make you appear more significant than others? I mean, this is something that we really need to be aware of. Where you look where the significance is coming from, it actually might be coming from your stuff. And if you're hanging on to stuff that you don't need because it makes you feel significant, then you've really gotten yourself into a pickle. And this is where I talk about ambivalence. Where part of you really wants to get organized, but another part has possibly attached significance to your stuff. So you're now unsure what you want to do and nothing gets done. Many of my dear book collectors, they feel significant at the bookstore purchasing books with their fellow bibliophiles surrounding them. And some people purchase books or specific books in order to just look more significant and, smarter on their bookshelf if they have people over. I actually went to a bookstore several weeks ago with a client, and it was a fine bookstore. And this was actually my first time, I guess I'm lame, I don't know, being in a fine bookstore. And let me tell you, there were some really nice books there. However, I learned that some of those books, you weren't even allowed to touch them. I mean, they were behind glass and very expensive. And the collectors that bought them actually never opened them or touched them even or read them. I mean, these books were for posterity, for some sort of significance on their bookshelf. It was unbelievable to me that people would spend that amount of money on a book that they would never read. But this might sound like you, collector, even at, not at higher end, but do you buy books that you never read because they make you feel smarter or more significant when you're actually purchasing them at the bookstore and when people come over, hypothetically? And do you feel more significant just surrounded by books, even though you have not enough days in your life to read all of them? It's just the idea that you own so many wonderful and smart, intelligent books that makes you feel significant. So I ask you, without those books, are you less significant? Are you less smart? Let's dig a little deeper, be a little bit more real with ourselves. I mean, the truth is, not too many of you even have people coming over. So you're saving books hypothetically for the idea that in the future people might come over and they might see them and they might think you're smarter or more significant. The question is, the real question is, and I'll ask you again, are you attaching significance to some of your belongings? And this is a very important question. I mean, especially if you like fashion. I know a lot of you out there have all sorts of fun styles of clothing and different varieties of everything. And, it's the clothing that you wear that makes you feel more significant. If you're known as the person that always wears pink or the one that always is wearing bling or has their different shoes on every day. I mean, if you're known at work as a fashionista, then you're attaching significance to your stuff. You're acquiring stuff based on what other people think of you, on how you can make yourself feel significant by using your stuff. So if people are always commenting on your outfit or your hat or your jewelry, I mean, that could possibly make you feel more significant. I mean, being the best dressed one in the office isn't a bad thing, but I want you to ask yourself, are you attaching significance to your stuff? Are you a less significant person if you dress differently? If you didn't dress up all the time? Are you less significant if you don't wear matching jewelry every day? Are you less significant if you don't wear a brand new pair of shoes every day? Is clothing making you feel significant? Does shopping? I mean, some of us love, in person shopping. It makes them feel significant. Oh, look what I got. Oh, it's just human nature. You walk around looking and you think you get a deal, and so you're all excited and you buy it. So it's really time to ask yourself if the act of shopping, if you like going out and being in public and shopping with your fellow shoppers, does that make you feel significant? Is it the brand that you're buying and the deal that you're getting that makes you feel significant? I mean, what about these articles of whatever it is makes you a better person than you already are inside? It's really time to ask yourself those hard questions. We're going to have a chat now with my colleague, Coach Jimmy Kay, out there in Australia. And let's hear what his thoughts are about significance and how it's played into his life. Hi, James. Thanks so much for being on the show to talk to my listeners about significance. We'd love to hear all about it.
Great. Hey, how you doing?
Thank you. So tell me why the third human need of significance is so important, and just let us know a little bit about significance.
Yeah, sure. I mean, for me, significance is like my favorite human need because it actually resonates very strongly within my life. And growing up, it was also a very big part of my need. And I'll get more into that as I talk through it. But significance is really that need where you feel unique, you feel special and important. You actually feel that value that you have and that you're valuable to others, like your loved ones, your family, or a tight knit group that you're in, and you feel that you matter. So it really resonates stronger inside of you for people that are important in your life. And so that to me is what significance is. And I find that when the need is met, you feel really strong. Your life actually has meaning. You may feel this strong sense of purpose. You've got that drive, the motivation, you've got confidence, and you believe in yourself. You can take on the world, do anything, a bit like Superman, and yeah, and the flip side of it, if that need is not met, then you may feel like you mean nothing. You may even ask the question of what's life about, or you ponder and you kind of question, whether what you're doing has any purpose at all. For those who do 9-to-5 jobs, Monday to Fridays, you get up on a Monday, you don't even want to get up for work actually, and Monday blues is super, super blue for you. I'm sure some people will relate to that. And for some people, it gets even deeper and strikes a very deep down question of, does anyone really care about me? And I know, some people even get depressed because they feel like they're not significant. They don't mean anything at all in this world. So yeah, then just sharing something briefly, if you don't mind, like how I tried and how I try to meet this need when I was in my life. So when I was growing up, I've always wanted to feel and be loved, especially by people I found that were important to me. I was also very competitive. I want to be the fastest swimmer in my swimming club. I wanted to be the fastest runner. I want to be the best, a basketball player, the best tennis player, the best whatever player. It's all very sports related, but that was my life. And some point in time, as a teenager, I started thinking about, I wanted to do something in life that meant a bit more. I wanted to change the world. I wanted to impact someone's life. I want to help others grow. help people become better versions of themselves. And that's what I'm doing today. And that's why I've decided to become a coach, to help people become better versions of themselves. And so by that little example, you can see that I met some people can meet this need by doing good works, serving others, helping others. And that's a link to the need of contribution, which I'm sure you'll be covering later on. Some people also get involved in charities. Some people get that need met by others, where they feel that their love, the appreciation, the praise, the compliments you receive, you acknowledge when you do a great job. For some people like me, it would be like having my home organized, things are in the right place. I know where they are exactly, that kind of stuff, and it's all neat and tidy in a certain way. Some other ways people meet these needs can be both in a healthy way or an unhealthy way. Some of us try to stand out from others. We want to be totally different. We do our hair in a different way. We print things on ourselves in a different way. We have more piercings than we even have body parts. Nothing wrong with that. But, it's probably the motivation behind it. Why are we doing these things? That really, be something to think about. For others, and I've gone through this before, so for some people, we want to be successful. We want to accumulate the wealth, the riches. We want to have the nicest car, the most expensive watch, that job position where you find that it's the most significant position. Kind of just putting yourself out there. You want to be sick. You think that you'll feel significant by being in that place. And for some people, it's about, elevating themselves above others. It can be done in a very healthy way where you actually become better. You invest time in your own personal growth, your own spiritual growth if you're into that. Or for some people, maybe not so healthy way is, you put others down. And that can be very destructive to relationships, especially in families. Some do things to get the attention, they scream, kick, shout, and that's just the adults. Think about what the children think when they see the adults doing that. Those with children, you've probably seen it before, they're banging the tables, hey, mom, dad, or if they have younger siblings, they make them cry, just trying to get that attention back and that significance back because the younger sibling kind of just took it from them. But I guess the key thing is really focusing on healthy ways of meeting this need, and not just this need really, and all the other needs. Because if you create that imbalance and just focus on one of the needs and spend all your energy and time, you create different opportunities as well as problems with that. And most of that would correlate to your own life rules, your own blueprint compared to your current life conditions. So yeah, I think finding that balance really helps. And if you don't mind, I'll share a couple of tips of how to start on making it work.
I love that.
Oh, great. Yeah, I think it's very simple. So you probably know this as well. So kind of like the first step is really just understand, your human needs, which one is the higher ones that you tend to go for, and actually realizing how you meet them. And another thing to think about next is to focus on giving that need rather than getting that need. So find creative ways to give, like you talk about the need of love, how can I give love rather than get love? And the interesting part about this is that when you give love, it actually also meets your need for significance, growth, or contribution. So that really can change the direction, I think, and ultimately the destination of your relationships and for your life as well. So that's the brief summary for the need of significance. Hope I didn't waffle on too much, but I'm sure if there's questions, fire away to even yourself or me.
No, I really enjoyed hearing what significance means to you. There are definite ways that people meet it with clutter, which I'll be talking about on the same episode, where people feel like if they're wearing a certain brand or if they have a certain amount of things, that makes them feel more significant. Or if they're always at Target and everyone knows them there as the lady that buys stuff, that could make them feel significant. So
So true.
yeah. If our listeners want to talk to you a bit more, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I'm on most of the social media platforms, so you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. So on Instagram, just look for Coach Jimmy K. You can drop me a message there. You can follow me for some inspiring quotes, quotes of the day, quotes of the week, or whatever rings your bells. But yeah, I'm on most social media platforms, so hope you can contact me on those places.
Great. So that's Coach Jimmy K, which is Kay at the end.
That's right. Yep.
Clarify that. Well,
Thanks.
It's been excellent having you on the show. I really appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll have you back on again.
Will do. Thank you so much, Rachel. It's been great.
Thank you. We all need to feel important and significant, needed. And you can also get significance by having more clutter than everybody else. I mean, you become significant when the county or the city or the fire department gets involved with your clutter. I've seen church groups and family members spend countless hours helping people declutter. And that makes that person feel significant. And you could gain significance by talking poorly about other people. You know, you could talk about your husband with your girlfriends. And of course, you can also get it by being more spiritual or not being spiritual at all. Spending a lot of money can definitely make you feel significant, but so can spending very little. I mean, we all know, and you might be one of these people who constantly brags about the deals or the bargains that they get. But then there's people that feel special because now they're in an exclusive country club. I mean, there's so many ways that we gain significance in our lives. So if you're using your stuff, books or clothing, musical instruments, whatever it may be, to gain significance, please be aware of this. I say it again, it's really hard to let stuff go if you have this attached sense of significance to it. And you just might be hanging on to it because it makes you feel significant. You don't even need it. You might not even want it, but other people like you wearing it or think you're smarter. It makes you feel significant, so you're keeping it. And that's going to hold you back. And if you do find that this is the case for you, I have just one word for you: donate. Okay, think that item makes you look gorgeous, snazzy. Donate it to a worthy cause and let someone less fortunate feel significant. Let someone else feel smart with that book on their shelf. I mean, they might actually read it. Let someone else wear that awesome suit you've been storing in your closet and get a new job. The more stuff you get rid of, the better you're going to feel. And you're going to gain significance in a new way because you're giving to worthy causes. You gain significance by going to the donation center and dropping off your goods to the less fortunate. I mean, better yet, if you buy yourself something new, buy the same exact thing for a woman at the homeless shelter. And this is something that I learned from my teacher, Chloe Madonis. I just love her. I'm totally using this strategy. I mean, every time that you go buy yourself something, buy the exact same item if you think it's so amazing for a woman at the homeless shelter. And the key is you've got to drop it off before you get home. If you went to Ross and you got 4 new pairs of pants, awesome. Buy 4 pairs of pants for homeless women. And the key is before you get home, drop them off at the homeless shelter. Otherwise, you and I know that you'll bring it all home. So if you're going to do this, if you're really going to hold yourself to this, you must go to the homeless shelter before you get home. If you order online, I know a lot of you order online. Same thing. Each time you order online, order 1 or however many you ordered for yourself and the woman at the homeless shelter. And then when they come, take them over. I mean, the idea here is for you to understand, that you can share your significance. You can gain even more significance by helping other people feel significant. I mean, did you know that most of the world lives on $2 a day? The idea of you gaining significance from donating and giving away instead of buying and cluttering? I mean, go in and see women just like you with absolutely nothing. What would make you feel more significant? Strutting by that woman in your fancy suit, hoarding it in your closet, or giving it to her so that she can feel significant? When you give away your stuff, you gain so much more significance. You're sharing and spreading the significance, and you're growing, and you're also letting stuff go. And some of you might not want to go through this elaborate process, so think about it. It's a lot to get in your car with all this stuff and go over to the homeless shelter every time you buy something. If you don't follow this strategy, just think about it. And maybe that'll stop you from buying stuff. I mean, there are people out there with absolutely nothing. So when you stop placing significance on your belongings and you start placing significance on the good you do, you're going to be so much happier. You're going to have a lot less stuff, and you're going to live the organized life that you truly, truly desire. Thank you so much for tuning in, collectors. Next time, we're going to be discussing the fourth human need, which is for love. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. Click that thumbs up button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Also, make sure to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under Collector Care. Until next time, collectors. And remember, happiness is a place between too little and too much.
Now, a short ad break from Clarity Coaching.
Do you feel overwhelmed with clutter? Are you having trouble finding a place to start? Sometimes it's hard to ask for help, especially with all of the judgment and shame out there. What you need is an experienced, non-judgmental guide to help you navigate through your clutter chaos. I'm a guiding force that's going to help you empower yourself so you can live a happier, healthier, more organized life. I will take the time and I'm going to hold the space for you to understand your world, your dreams, your relationships, and your clutter. I do this with no judgment and no other agenda, but to help you achieve what you want most in life. And this, my dear collectors, is something that most people have never experienced. To experience the life that you truly desire, schedule your free Clarity coaching session today by emailing me at rachel@collectorcare.com. That's rachel@collectorcare.com. Or call me directly. I'm at 925-548-7750. That's in America, so that's area code 1-925-548-7750. Clarity consultations are complimentary for individuals seeking my coaching services, and they're very useful to make sure that we're the right fit for each other. Stop living in chaos and start living the organized life you desire.
This has been Hoardganize with Rachel Seavey. New episodes are available every Sunday at 6 p.m. and also on the Collector Care YouTube channel. Download Rachel's Affirmations for Collectors on iTunes or Amazon.com, or sign up for Rachel's blog at collectorcare.com and receive 7 tips for clutter-free living. Thanks for listening.